Good morning, Frederick, rise and shine. A city so lively, gotta make it mine. Downtown town streets to the Carroll Creek view. There's something special here, you feel it too. Your host Dani, here to guide the way with a big smile. She brightens up your day, fills up your day. Good morning, Frederick, rise and shine. City's so lively, gotta make it mine. From downtown streets to the Carroll Creek view, there's something special here, you feel it too. Good morning, Frederick, rise and shine. A city so lively, gotta make it mine. From downtown streets to the Carroll Creek view, there's something special here, you feel it too. Your host Dani, here to guide the way with a big smile. She brightens up your day, fills up your day. Good morning, Frederick, rise and shine. City's so lively, gotta make it mine. From downtown streets to the Carroll Creek view, there's something special here, you feel it too. Good morning, Frederick, rise and shine. A city so lively, gotta make it mine. From downtown streets to the Carroll Creek view, there's something special here, you feel it too. Your host Dani, here to guide the way with a big smile. She brightens up your day, fills up your day. Good morning, Frederick, rise and shine. A city so live.
Here we go. Not here, not here. Okay, I have not figured this out. There we go. Oh my goodness. Good morning, Frederick. I tried to push the right button, but didn't. Hello, I'm Dani Gurrie. Welcome to Good Morning Frederick. Today is Thursday, February 12th. Good Morning Frederick, part of the Everything Frederick Live YouTube channel. I got to shout out my brother who actually has updated the branding for Everything Frederick Live. We have so much amazing stuff going on that channel. If you haven't been to it, you should come. Look at that. First of all, it looks amazing. Everything Frederick Live right there. I'm going to click on our live tab. That's where obviously this show goes every day. Last night we had The Last of the Good Old Boys, hosted by Blaine Young and Spinny Johnson. I did not know Spinny. He graduated from Frederick High School and played for the Harlem Globetrotters. It was very cool. You can check that out. We have The Heart of Downtown Frederick, which is a limited series. I think there's one or two more episodes on that. And but you can go to the playlists. We have lots of playlists. If you click on playlists, you can see we also have Frederick's Tick Talk, which is all about Lyme disease and tick bite prevention. We have The Healing Journey, hosted by a friend of mine, Shannon Storm. It's all about holistic health. Manoj Cooks hopefully will be back one day. He's very busy now, but we did get an episode for him. Last of the Good Old Boys. We have some older episodes of Live from Studio 401, which will hopefully be back in the stream soon. So here you go. Like, there's so much amazing content on Everything Frederick Live. Working to get to 3,000 subscribers. We're at 1,940 right now. 3,400 videos for your viewing pleasure, including tons of shorts that you can watch as well. So that is it. Everything Frederick Live. That's why we ask you to join Everything Frederick Live's YouTube channel, because that is where daily you can make sure and see what is happening all around Frederick, not just Good Morning Frederick. I want to shout out Good Morning. Lucy is headed to Emmitsburg Elementary for the kids to read, WAGs to read. Lucy is a sweetheart. We love her, and Christy, of course. Want to say good morning to Mama Cone. You have some flurries out there. I've seen them drop in the in the window there on the live view. And finally, Michelle Payton, good morning to you. I spent some time with her yesterday at Veterans Service Center. We're going to have that on the show about Wellness Wednesdays. Fantastic program there. And they are looking for providers. We're going to talk more about that as well. But everyone is jumping in the studio, so we first have to get the show started.
Sponsored by Fusion Car Wash. Now with 2 locations in Frederick to serve you. One on Spectrum Drive near the FSK Mall, which is a full-service location. And TJ Drive with self-serve vacuums. Download the free Fusion Car Wash app and sign up for a monthly membership. And you can keep all your cars clean daily. FusionCarWash.com.
Well, we're getting the gentlemen set up in the studio for your morning roundup. That's what's been happening in and around Frederick and beyond for the last 24 hours.
It's time for the morning roundup with Dani, Bob, and AJ Randall. Here to get you caught up with everything you missed overnight on Good Morning Frederick.
This portion of Good Morning Frederick is powered by Ken's Automotive and Transmissions, Total Car Care. Need an oil change or brakes? Ken's Automotive and Transmissions can take care of that. How about exhaust or engine work? Ken's Automotive and Transmissions can do that too. No matter what you need for your car, Ken's Automotive and Transmissions is Total Car Care. Go to kenstrans.com to schedule an appointment today.
Oh, good morning to you all. How are you today?
Hi there.
What's happening?
Another day in paradise.
Yes, it is another day in paradise. A little snow flurry. How is it up on Grove Hill Road? It's always colder up there.
We got a little bit of snow coming up. So,
Yeah.
I just, the boss was in here because we're all going to go try to do some manly stuff today. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it because I'm not manly enough, but.
Oh, what does that mean? Oh, whoops. I forgot. There you go.
A little pew-pewing.
Oh, wow.
know.
Okay.
But I got so much on my plate. I just don't know if I'm going to be. They're going to leave fairly early, and I don't know if I can. If I have all my ducks in a row, so to speak. So
Yes. Where do they go to do that?
Down the road. They're going to a place called Gundry.
Okay.
I've never heard of it. I'm like, we're going all the way down the road. Can't we just go over that way, or that way, or that way?
Somewhere in the woods.
Can't we just build a berm out back and shoot into the trailer?
Right.
So I'm looking forward to that if we can go, but I don't know if I'm going to get to go. So,
and
then
I know AJ would love that.
And
I would love that.
Do you have a personal protection?
Yeah, I'm a good old fashioned American, Bobby.
There you go. Well, in just a couple minutes, Dani, I'm going to walk out and protest. Just like they are going to do at Linganore and Urbana and Brunswick High School today.
What are we protesting today?
Ice.
Oh, that isn't in town, but now it is.
Nicer weather. It's going to be here. This ice is all going to be gone as soon as the sun comes out. Don't protest it.
I had this problem a couple years ago when protests were allowed during school hours and kids were allowed to leave the building. First of all, I do think, could be a safety concern there, but certainly, it doesn't seem very equal on all sides for that. So
no. Well, look. I would say that my philosophy is, number one, we got an email that said this is student-led, student-organized.
Of course.
And I say crock of a well-known substance.
Yes.
Exactly.
That some teacher put this in their mind.
Of course.
And the second thing is that most kids, now I'm sure that the organizers maybe have some their intentions are pure because of whatever they believe or disbelieve. And okay. But for the most part, those kids are just going to get out of school so they can jump up and down and scream and yell, pull out their phones, do clicks, likes, and shares, and they have no idea what they're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, boy. All right. Well, AJ, what else is happening in and around our area?
Well, in around our area, this is pretty sad. It happened yesterday. James Vanderbeek, the actor, died at age 48, best known for his starring role on Dawson's Creek. He was diagnosed with colorectal cancer in 2023. He made it public in 24 and has died at the young age of 48.
Yeah. Yeah. Very sad there. Interesting, though, that he needed a GoFundMe to help pay for medical bills, and the wife, and he's got 6 kids, are talking about how they may not be able to sustain living in their home.
Yeah. Well, I would think that probably when he was on Dawson's Creek, I don't know. I mean, I would thought I never really don't think I ever watched Dawson's Creek because I wasn't a teenage girl. But I would have thought he would have made pretty decent money. But who knows? I mean, they weren't. I'm sure he wasn't making like Friends or type money back in the day. So maybe he just maybe it was $100,000 an episode or something, which is a lot of money to us.
Sure.
But over, our lifetime, maybe we make X amount of dollars, but he, I don't know. And they have a different lifestyle than we do.
Right. Well, they have they live in California where the taxes are high. They probably got, you think, none of that goes to the people almost. So, but we'll, who knows? Who knows how it was spent?
Yeah.
Closer to home, another death, former city council member Scott Lasher died, 79, after resigning his District 4 seat due to health challenges. Had been elected in November and later replaced by Joe Adkins. City official announced condolences and lowered flags to half staff from February 13th to 16th. Lasher, an attorney and owner of a fitness place here, Orange Theory, emphasized community building and civic listening during his brief public service run.
Yeah, very sad.
It is sad.
Wow. Yeah.
And when you face that mortality like he did, I mean, and dropped out from being a council member going, I got to take care of my health, and then realizing, it basically just sit around with my family and say goodbye. And, I didn't know Mr. Lasher, but prayers go out to his family and his friends and people who knew him and people who worked with him. Our condolences to them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Frederick County Executive Jessica Fitzwater officially launched her 2026 reelection campaign, highlighting her record on education funding, economic development, and housing. She says county education funding has increased about 30% across her first 3 budgets, while also arguing state mandates under the Blueprint Law are outpacing state dollars.
Well, it's interesting. And Bob, I wanted to ask you, we have David Migdal, who is running for Board of Education, as our guest today. So, we're going to have some interesting questions for him just about funding the board and his thoughts on that.
Well, when it comes to the county executive, it's, all in on education, and whether or not we're getting our money's worth, that can be held up for interpretation.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Frederick County Bill SB 718 would let breweries and wineries and distilleries sell beer, wine, spirits, or mixed drinks produced by other manufacturers instead of only what they make themselves. A bill would let craft beverages makers sell other Maryland-made alcohol. Supporters say the change helps customer groups with different tastes and encourages collaboration across local producers. Lawmakers said language will likely be tightened so that this applies to Maryland-made products only and not national brands. So
I don't drink. Doesn't that just turn them into a bar?
You're right. Right.
Well, I think that's what they want, really. I think the
Yeah.
whole craft thing was just a way to get around that.
Well, and there were some, you have to get a different license in order to sell liquor and wine. Wine and beer are one, and then liquor is another license. And so I'm just confused because some breweries like Idiom, which is closing, by the way, this week, got their liquor license. The problem is, what they're getting around is in order to have a liquor license, you have to provide food as part of that. And I believe food has to be a larger percentage of your sales. That's what I remember from back in the day, though I'm not
just
an expert.
chips and salsa.
Yeah, popcorn, free popcorn. Not sure that does it, but interesting move. Look, I mean, I love the fact we want to support all the local breweries, wineries, distilleries. Just wondering. You always have to look deeper at these things. You always have to look deeper.
Well, as a person who doesn't drink anymore, when I saw all these breweries popping up, I'm like, is there enough people to sustain them all? And what if your product, is not as good as the guy down the street? You go in there, to say you guys go in there and you taste them, and you're like, you're not going back.
That has happened.
And these aren't small buildings.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
they're huge.
Yeah. So,
well, along with current Sheriff Chuck Jenkins and our friend Gary Morton, who's running for sheriff, both made several appearances on podcasts and shows here. Democrat Carl Bickle filed for his fourth run for Frederick County Sheriff, saying he wants stronger ethics, transparency, and leadership reform in the office. Bickle previously lost to incumbent Chuck Jenkins 3 times, but says concerns about internal culture and public trust remain. He also argues the 287G immigration partnership issue is likely becoming moot because the state legislature passed a ban and Governor Moore is expected to sign it. Bickle also sharply criticized fellow Democratic candidate, you'll have to say his name, Jason. I call him Jason C. His qualifications setting up a contentious primary.
Similewski. That's how I say it. That's how I say it.
Do we know how it's pronounced, or we're just
No, I actually said on the air this morning, if you're listening, which I figured he wasn't, if he could give me a pronunciation guide, I'd appreciate it, because I don't want to get anybody's name wrong.
No.
I don't want to get Basement Bickle's name wrong either.
Basement Bickle. Oh, boy.
Is that on his yard signs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
4 times.
4 times.
The third time's the charm. What's the 4th time?
Look, at least he's running. So there you go.
Hey, he's got a cool mustache.
He does.
Wow. You got to have something. This is in Carroll, but this is a weird, crazy story. Carroll Sheriff says court release preceded fatal stabbing in Howard County. Authorities say Alexander Stevenson, charged with murdering his estranged wife, Amethyst, in Howard County, had been released just hours early by a Carroll County District Court Commissioner after a hearing tied to alleged assault and protective order violations. The commissioner released him on personal recognizance, and roughly 4 hours later, police say he fatally stabbed Amethyst at her Ellicott City home. I'm telling you, I said this, and I'm going to, if I ever run, it's going to be my platform with all these judges and we hear it all the time. They've been arrested 60 times, 80 times. We let them go. The judges should just be like parents in these mass murder cases. The judge should be liable for what he does or she does. So if you let somebody out and they kill somebody 4 hours later, you need to be charged.
Yeah.
Yeah, there definitely should be something, because I'll tell you what's happening, over the last 10 or 15 years, and maybe I didn't notice it before, but this advocacy from the bench, this social justice from the bench is craziness, because it is not equal justice under the law for any people. Like when you have somebody who is very one-side minded, justice is supposed to be blind, and we know that is not the case, because many people want to put their cases under certain judges because they know how they're going to, or they feel like they know how they're going to rule. I agree, though. When 4 days, I mean, I think if you release somebody and 2 years later they do
4 hours.
4 hours. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if you release somebody and they do something 2 years later or whatever, that's one thing. But 4 hours, I think within the year, there's got to be some repercussion for at least, I mean, an apology or something. You have to admit that what you've done has led to this disaster. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah,
Do you think that after something like that happens, does the judge in question sit there and go, no, what am I doing here?
No.
And will he change the way he does things?
It's fleeting. They don't care. They just, it's like, well, who could have seen that coming? I've got 10 more cases tomorrow. It's just, that's why they need to be, it's got to be more than an apology. They have to be, listen, if you're arresting parents because your child goes out and does something, that's insane in and of itself. But if we're going to start doing that, this is the slippery slope that we talk about all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
AJ Randall for governor. Look at that. I love it.
I like that, actually. Was that on the bottle? Is that a koozie that's on?
Could be.
Look at you.
Sponsored
Bob.
by Good Morning Frederick.
Well, those sponsorships dollars are drying up real quick.
Yeah. Yes, they would.
Well, you need to have somebody scrub all your history on the internet.
Yeah, if only I knew anybody.
Yeah.
Are there any skeletons in your closet?
Are there? Yeah. I mean, how
AJ?
many? Is the volume is
My
what we wanted.
I mean, I'm an open book, man.
Yeah.
Put it all out there. Everybody knows everything about me, so.
Yeah.
Probably could add a few things. I'm just saying.
Mama Cone said ethics need to happen. I agree, Mama Cone.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mama Cone, vote for AJ Randall for governor.
Look at that.
Mama Cone.
AJ Randall for governor. Look how fancy that is.
Why is that on your,
I like it.
Why is that on your phone? That is so weird.
How else am I supposed to do it?
Campaign manager right there.
Yeah.
There you
Goodness
go.
gracious.
All right. Well, Bob, we do have David Migdal coming on next. What would be one question you'd want to ask? Have you interviewed him yet?
We did a while back. I think he was either the principal or a teacher at Chris Michaels's school. So, yeah. My questions would be the ones that I always have. Does he support boys and girls bathrooms? Boys and girls sports? What does he think about the walkout today?
Yeah.
Those would be my questions. And is $1 billion too much or not enough for education?
Yeah.
But he's a very nice guy.
Yeah. I know. Yeah. Well,
But, yeah,
and look, I always appreciate when people come on the show because
Yeah.
sometimes they don't.
Oh yeah, I deal with that all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, and we're never really mean to anybody. I mean, we try to be nice. We don't maybe not always agree.
Yeah.
But that's, it's like what Charlie Kirk said. When people stop talking, things happen.
Yeah.
Well, and the other thing is a lot of people can't handle, and not even an intense line of questioning, just even questioning it. These days, when you don't agree 100% with somebody, they feel like they're in a, we have no skills anymore of debate or logical reasoning when you're talking to somebody or, being, amicable when you're discussing something. None of that happens anymore. So
civil discourse. I mean,
Just go look. If you have some time and you want to have some fun, go look at the Pam Bondi hearings.
I saw some of those. I mean, it was crazy. I thought they were going to get into a fight, actually.
Well, maybe we should do that. Her and Jamie Raskin. I wonder who would win that one.
Parliaments. There are some parliaments where they end up fist fighting a lot.
Yeah.
Maybe we ought to go back to that, just in the ring.
AJ and I can fight.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Anything else, AJ, or we wrapped it up pretty much?
That's pretty much it. And
All right.
That's
All
right.
right. Well, Bob, thank you so much for joining us today. AJ Randall down at Market Street. And we're going to take a break and come right back with our guest, David Migdal, who's running for Board of Education. We'd love to see your questions in the comments. All of that comes up just after this.
Cosmec Healing handcrafted small batch tinctures and transdermal salves, double third-party tested for quality you can trust. If you've got pain, headaches, or anxiety, our products are here to help you find relief. Patient over profits mindset, 'cause we're patients too. CosmecHealing.com.
What makes for a perfect custom engagement ring? Truly understanding the elements that make a ring that's perfect for you. Custom by Colonial. The Colonial Jewelers box. There's just more in it.
Sponsored by A&S Construction is a local and award-winning woman and minority-owned business located right here in Frederick, servicing Frederick County and surrounding areas. A&S Construction specialize in roofing and siding, windows and gutters, and they can even build you a new patio or deck. Call 301-703-2157 or email info@ansconstruction.net. You can get $750 off any roof or siding replacement or $50 off any roof repairs. Just tell Sandra that Dani sent you.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Let me get myself bigger here. Oh, that's small. Here we go. We got it. All right. We're going to head down to Market Street. We got our guest, David Migdal, getting situated in the seat. And we're going to go down there now. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for taking time to speak with us today. Really appreciate it.
I heard Bob Miller say something nice about me. Geez, last time I was on, Chris had to tell him my name a few times, and I knew he liked me because, they didn't make me leave. I got to stay and got a tour. So, what? I heard the end of that, and you know what? I'm not here to fight with anybody. I'm here to let's talk things out and let's fix FCPS.
Yeah, look, I mean, and I so appreciate, again, many times candidates don't hop on, and I love just being able to ask questions, and I like hearing the responses, whether or not we may agree or disagree. But so far, the stuff I've seen you put out on social media, etc., seems to be pretty common sense, and that's what I kind of like. But let's start with first kind of how you got here and what made you decide to run for Board of Education.
All right. Well, I just retired in July 1st after 30 years in education. I was in Montgomery County as a teacher. So I was a teacher for 12 years. And then my last 21 years, I was an administrator, assistant principal in schools. Have always thought that the system was broken. Being in the system, wanted to do as much as I could, fighting for kids, making sure our teachers have what they need. But, without the boards and the budgets, it's hard to do that when they're reducing teachers. Every year you're having to excess teachers. Around this time, you get your staffing and you're having to get rid of 2, 3, 4 teachers or positions in the class, in the school, and the class sizes are getting bigger. I also have two children that were special needs and had to fight the county, literally fight, had 2 lawyers, had to pay out of pocket for those to get what they needed. And I don't think anybody should have to do that. Kind of going on to where I am right now, I'm working for Migdal Consulting, which is my wife's business, and I'm a tutor and advocate for dyslexic students. And I'm out there working to level that playing field, not just for the students, but for the parents. We have a lot of situations where parents are having to fight literally to get the schools to do testing and not wait to fail. And, other than, working for getting staff and the schools what they need, I think the most important thing and the reason why we're here is the students. We need to get back to reading, writing, math, and why are we waiting to fail? We're working with kids and we do, it's a business, but we have a lot of pro bono cases that we're working, that we have students that are 4 or 5 years behind. And once again, I hear it all the time. You don't want to go to the Apple ballot. You don't want to do the orange ballot. I want to be independent because I want my own thoughts. And this has got nothing to do against the teachers. I was a teacher for 9 years.
Yeah.
And it's got nothing to do with that. It's about doing my own thing and not having to have the backing of any group taking money. I'm doing everything with donations. I think I've raised $1,200. I've used $800 of that, and I'm not asking for any other donations. Everything has been on a shoestring budget, and I think that's how FCPS should be.
Yeah.
We need to reduce. We're top heavy. I'm sorry. Last night I couldn't sleep because our superintendent got a 13% raise, and all the comments, the teachers, the support staff, anyone I worked with, they'll let you know that, we try to do our best to support them. I would buy lunches. I would do this because they don't have the money to do any of those things.
Right.
Teachers, we would buy supplies out of our own pockets. I'd find materials for them when we couldn't get them. They're important. I would be embarrassed to take a 13% raise.
Yeah.
And it's not because of the money, because I think it's $11,000 to run for the board. It's more because I'm fighting for the students, getting them what they need, getting the teachers the professional development. I don't blame teachers. When I'm in IEP meetings, it's the first thing I say. It is not their fault.
Yeah.
This is a systemic problem starting at the top. We're way too top heavy. We have too many people in the Taj Mahal down there on East Street making $250,000, bringing more people in. They're in there without contracts through the association, so no one knows what they do until they sign that contract.
Yeah.
That's why I'm here.
I can definitely agree 100% on that. That's, I think, the way most of us feel, is that a lot of the money, $1 billion are just short of it for that budget. And, I think that it needs to be shifted. That built that FCPS on Southeast Street. To me, it just seems like that's where the money goes to die, and it never makes it out. Like typical governments, when you send money to a centralized place, it very often, if it comes out at all, it comes out at 90% less of the value. A dollar might go in and 10 cents seems to come out of it. And a shout out to your wife's business. I interviewed her last year, I believe. I'd love to talk with her again. Literally doing the work for these families and hearing about some of these IEP meetings, not only from her, but from other families that I know about. It is really intimidating and awful. And it's so, I'm so glad that people like you guys exist to help parents just navigate it and to advocate for their child to get what they should. You should never have to pay for a lawyer out of your own pocket to get what should be delivered automatically. So yeah, I'm going to reach out to her again and have her back, because I think the work that she and you and her team are doing is just phenomenal for families.
Yes, she would love to talk.
Make sure more families know about that.
It's awful sitting in IEP meetings and fighting just to get them what they need. And it shouldn't have to be that way. It really shouldn't. It should be a team effort.
For sure. Okay, so here's a question that was sent to me. What is one decision that the current board has made that you would have handled differently? Is there anyone other than the raise for Superintendent Dyson, as we know how you feel about that, which I agree?
I think the board with the meetings and the IDs and all that, as you guys were just saying in the last part of the show, we need to have conversations. And yes, we have a few people who like to come out and use colorful words and all that. I think when you make it harder for people to come to meetings and have it open, and I understand safety and all that, but words are words, and they shouldn't be going on. We should be adults. But I think that made it even worse. I think it's like two kids fighting, out on the playground. If you don't sit them down and talk it out and give them parameters of what you can do, and I can understand that there are rules and rules are being broken, but I think that just made it even worse. And I think it's going to continue because of that. So I think that's a huge, huge thing.
Well, and I think sometimes we're looking at the result, but we're not looking at the reason that behavior exists. People are frustrated. They're tired of not feeling heard. And again, I don't condone utilizing foul language in a public setting like that. That shouldn't happen. And doing things to kind of get the shock jockish things. Like I don't feel like that. But at the same time, when people feel shut down and unheard, this is the kind of thing that happens. And again, to dispel that, as you know, as a teacher with two kids having issues or students having problems with them, sometimes when you sit down and let's talk about the things we agree on, and then let's have that civil conversation. But when you shut that out, you're right. I do believe that's not the last thing we've probably heard from that. And it's, I think, just going to ignite some of those issues.
The other thing is, I think the pilot for the cameras in the self-contained classrooms is a big issue. As I posted on Facebook and got a lot of grief for it, when the incident at Oakdale occurred, all the board members were up there discussing it. We're all on the same page. We didn't hear for months, and then there were meetings behind the scenes with the unions and the teachers and everything else, but not with the community. So no one knew what was going on. I don't think it should be a pilot. I think it should be, in there, all those in the self-contained classrooms, those cameras should be there. It's not to, look at the teachers teaching, because you won't have audio, but you'll be able to, protect kids. And that's what it should be. And I think that was probably even bigger than the meetings mistake that they've made, and doing things behind the scene. Because I know I got a lot of grief because, when you don't put things out there about the Brunswick High School incident, the Oakdale incident, whatever, people just make up rumors. So, all I'm hearing is, the teachers are happy at Brunswick now because, they've done professional development. But that's not what I'm hearing from the staff, that there was a lot going on that hasn't come out. I think those are the biggest things, keeping things not transparent. And I think that's FCPS, and this board has a lot of problems. There's some on the board that want to be transparent, and once again, as you guys talked about, fighting and all that doesn't help us get anywhere.
Right.
I don't want to have fights. I want to have discussions. I've said to some board members, I disagree with 99% of what you're doing, but you know what? The thing you brought up about getting rid of one of the higher up in the cabinet for $250,000 because they made a job for somebody who did not fit in the schools. We got to stop doing that. Why are we spending that money? That $250,000 could have saved those lunch monitors in the schools, which would have helped teachers not have to be in the lunchroom. I mean, we're making those mistakes. And yes, it's not millions and millions and millions of dollars for the cabinet, but they make a lot of money. And those monies could be put into, so we keep librarians in the schools and not have to go 3 or 4 different schools, or getting rid of the 35, I think, staff members, full-time staff members that's in the budget right now. We're not making those choices that are going to help schools. We're making it harder. And that's a huge issue for me.
Yeah. What about the, we talk about this every budget cycle about retaining and attracting great teachers in Frederick County. How do we do that really where we are budget wise, right? What things can we start to do so that teachers in Frederick County are getting money to not go down the road?
You know what? I hear that a lot. As an administrator for 21 years, you would lose a few staff members. I know it's hard. I left Montgomery County, so I was making really good money and wanted to be with my family. So my wife helped me make that decision, showing me what was, the benefit of being here. But you are going to lose some teachers. And, especially after, once again, the raise, I would be upset. I mean, if you look at those comments just from last night, I think the teachers got a 2% raise, and then the benefit, the health insurance went up like 13, 15, something like that percent. That's not helping. No. We need to support our teachers. We need to get them the professional development. We need to stop getting rid of the central office teaching support people, the teacher specialists that are out there helping them. Those are the people we need to increase so that we can give to the teachers and give them what they need so they can teach in the classrooms. You're making those classrooms sizes bigger, but you're not giving them anything to help them support with the behaviors, removing behavior people in the schools. I mean, that's part of the issue. We just keep doing that, reducing the number of staff in the schools, and no one's looking at, that's a huge deal. When you have behaviors, I mean, if you talk to people in the schools, and I still do, and, once again, I was at 5 or 6 schools in the county. I was part of the administrative union for 5 or 6 years as a treasurer. They will tell you that they have kids running around outside, leaving the building, doing this. And yes, the county does come in and support them, but it's not as much as they need because we've reduced all those people in there. They don't have enough people to teach technology to the staff or students. When they need it. I mean, it's a big problem. We look at a line item, which we can't get line items on everything in the budget. Anyways, I've heard that for 18 years and still can't do it. We get a video, a cartoon video telling us about the budget, but we're not knowing where that money is. And being on that side, as you said, working with families, we have families in the business that are getting money compensation for the schools not being able to cover the goals and services that the IEP team has, and the county is giving them money. We have 4 or 5 people that have gotten not all a total of $20,000. That's a small portion of that money going out. Now, we do have non-public students. Sometimes you just can't handle what the kids need, and you have to do that. And part of that money comes back from the state. Not a lot, but it does. But this money for compensation or compensatory reasons, that's a huge amount of money. And some of those, when they go to due process, are signing non-disclosure deals. So you'll never know how much they're getting out. But we need to look at that. And the board's signing off on them. Somebody on the board has to sign off on those deals so they know where that money's going. Why aren't we talking about that? Why aren't we talking about bringing in new revenue? The crazy thing of, let's put some advertisements on the buses. They're going around. Marla and I looked, $500,000 a year to put some advertisements on buses. If it's appropriate, put them on. The kids aren't even seeing them. Why aren't we doing that? We're putting names of Pepsi Cola and Coca-Cola and all that on our sports and Nike and all that. Where's the money going? I know it goes into the athletics and all that, but we're still putting a lot of money out there that we could be bringing in, and no one's looking at that. We're just saying, oh, we need more taxpayers' money and blah, blah, blah. I want to reduce that. I don't want taxes going up. That, is part of that issue of the county needs to deal with that. But let's bring in new money. Let's bring in new revenue. Let's tackle the top heavy cabinet members and directors, why we have so many. And once again, I will say it, and it's not popular. Why are we putting people who can't handle being in the schools and putting them in the central office? It's the old saying. Why do they pass the trash? Stop doing it. If they can't do their jobs, then get rid of them. And that should be for everybody, not just administrators, not just the cabinet, support staff. I mean, it took years to get rid of custodians who weren't showing up for their jobs, who weren't, and we were getting Dr. Dyson doesn't want to get rid of people because we can't get people to hire. I'd rather, and I'd pull a trash can. I'd do mops. I'd wash floors because we didn't have anybody, because it wasn't worth having the people. It made more work for our other people. And that's why people want to leave.
Yeah.
Because they're not supported and the county is not doing it. If you have somebody who's, stealing hours every paycheck and not doing the work, and the other people are covering it, you're going to hear about it. And those are the people that are the lowest paying, that 13%, or let's say that $900 stipend for a car. I bought a car for my daughter, $300 a month. Why $900? I don't care if past superintendents did it. No one should be getting that. I'd like that money to go to the staff, especially our support staff, our secretaries who are running those buildings. And you ask any administrator, those secretaries run the building. They protect you. They are the first line of defense. They should be protected. The SEIAs, who are not getting the professional development they need to do their job, they're the ones that the chairs and the punches and everything else are going first. And if you talk to other people about me, I'd get them out of the room first, and I was the one taking it because I didn't want them to be in it. And, I don't think anybody else on this board or running for the Board of Education can say that, because I was a hands-on administrator. I was always in the room. I was doing my work in the room. I would write up my observations while being in classrooms because the kids needed to see me, and that's the way I always will. And I'm going to continue to do that if I get on the board. That's if. I want to be in the buildings. I want to hear from people. That's why my website says, call me, send emails, let me know what your grievances are, what you're hearing, what you're seeing, what you need. And let's get that out there.
Yeah. Look, Dave, I don't know who can argue with some of these policies that you are for, because they seem very, like I said, common sense about really fighting for the teachers and the students. And I just wonder sometimes, it seems to happen in Washington quite a bit as well, that people who, like you, have these great minds of common sense. It just seems to stop at once they get elected. So how are you going to, I guess, once elected, how are you going to get your colleagues to really kind of listen for this and maybe look at a different way of going about things than they have in the past?
To bring people in, let the teachers come in and talk, and not be afraid to come in front of the board and say what's going on. They are afraid. You have teachers now doing it. You have the people from the union doing it. But I think teachers should be able to say what they think about what's going on. They're part of the school. They should be able to come in and say, we're not getting our staff development. We're not getting the materials that we need. And why are we buying consumable math books every year if they're going home unused, and, the school's putting them in a closet? I mean, that's a big deal. We get going back to it. I went through a addition at Carroll Manor, and Kevin Cuppett and I looked at the budget for that and sent back money to the board. We cut it. We didn't need everything that they wanted to order and that they automatically do. We have new schools. I'm sure there are closets full of brand new materials that are not being used because they have so much. Why are we buying too much? Let's buy what they need, keep some money, and if there's something they need to do in the future, get some of that money. But we don't need to overspend. Let's cut those things. Let's bring those people in that have been in there and seen that happen. I know it happens. I know orders get messed up and they get extra.
I have friends who work at FCPS who tell me all the time how much they keep ordering. It's not stuff they need. There's so much waste. Again, I think right now nationally as well, we're seeing all of this waste and fraud going on. It would certainly, I think, I can't imagine anyone wouldn't be for making sure that we're not wasting, but you'd be
And we don't
surprised.
look at it. They're not even looking at it or talking about it. They just order it. There's just a list of things. Here's what you're getting. We need to do that. We need
Yeah.
to fight that. What you said about working with my colleagues, I want to work with them. I don't want to fight with anybody. I don't
Yeah.
want to, have this side and this side. Let's all work together. We're not going to agree on everything, but you know what? It's for the students.
Yeah.
The apple ballot, the orange ballot, all this is just division. That's why, on my yard signs and everything, I'm the independent thinker.
Yeah.
I don't want to be with a group, but I can work with anybody. I've
Right.
30 years have worked with everybody. People who hated me as parents, staff members who didn't believe in what I thought, or you're in my room too much, or you're trying to, get me. I don't go after people.
Yeah.
People do it to themselves. And when parents don't agree with what I give you, what I see, and that's, you have to take it from there. I have to follow the policies. I have to work to that. And, any parent that has been angry about the IEP system or something that I've done, I'm always there to help them with the appeal, even though it's going to come back and we're going to have to sit back down, because I know that parent really has concerns. And
Yeah.
if we have a policy that says, well, kids should have to be 2 years behind, or we didn't put them in an intervention, that's not the student's fault. That's not the parent's fault. We need to work to fix those things.
Yeah.
And once again, stop the fighting and everything else. There's so much out there that we can fight about and all that. It's just not worth it. We're not getting things done. We
Right.
say we want to fix things, and then we just don't do it. We put pilots in place. We do this. We know things are important. We know cameras in the self-contained classrooms are important. We know staff needs professional development. We know we keep switching staff and getting rid of, so we got to bring somebody new. We have new special ed teachers that are drowning in trying to write IEPs and things like that. I've seen them on this other side as an advocate. They don't even know how to write the goals. That's not their fault. That's not the teacher's fault. That's central office. That's the teacher specialists not having enough teacher specialists, not having enough people to go out and support them. So once again, I'll say it. Everyone says, oh, you're not with the Apple ballot. You're against teachers. Nothing. It could be farther from the truth. I was part of the unions. I was a teacher. I fight for teachers every day. Go find some teachers. Look on the website, whatever it is. There's parents, there's things, and you'll find people who don't agree with me. That's fine. But once again, I'll sit down and talk to them, and they'll send me things saying, during your tenure there, you made these decisions. Well, I had to make decisions with the information that I had.
Right.
Like it or not, that's what the policies in FCPS, the state puts us that way. But I'm sure if I had that conversation that I told them, this is what I think you should do to get the ball rolling, to make it better.
Well, we appreciate you. I think, look, you got to be educated. Whether or not you have kids at FCPS, it's important that you research the candidates who are running. David Migdal is running. It's Migdal 4, the number 4, BOE.com. That's right on the screen. Check out the website. Ask the questions. He's going to be very open and make sure your questions are answered. Whether or not it's the answer you're looking for, who knows? But we want somebody with principle who really is looking after our teachers. I really love everything that you're talking about. I appreciate you coming on again. We'll have you on again as we get closer to the election as well. You always have a platform here, though, if you ever have anything you want to come on the show and talk about. We appreciate you taking the time today.
Thank you very much. I'm on Facebook also. Send me a DM, something you're concerned about, something you want to talk about. If you send me a number or an email, I will answer. I'll call you. Once again, if we don't agree at the end, then that's a conversation. But I'm telling you, it's not going to get ugly from my side. I'll listen, tell you how I feel and what we can do, and, go from there. So I'm wanted to hear everybody and talk to everybody, no matter what side you're on.
Well, we appreciate it. I'll be in touch very soon. Again, would love to have your wife back on too, because you guys are doing great work there. And we will be in touch. Migdal for BOE, the number 4. Check it out and have an awesome day, David. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much.
We're going to take a quick break and we're going to come right back right after this. We got a lot more with what's happening in Frederick coming on as well. Hang tight.
Sponsored by Dublin Roasters is the Frederick Coffee House, fueled by love and positivity. Visit Dublin Roasters at 1780 North Market Street or at DublinRoastersCoffee.com, where you can order online and have coffee shipped right to your door. You can sign up for a monthly membership as well, open for curbside and deliveries 7 days a week.
Sponsored by Intense Barbecue, family-owned barbecue food truck and catering company cooking in small batches to ensure that the food is the freshest it can be. Intense Barbecue can cater your events and they do any kind of food. It doesn't have to be barbecue. Find them at SEBBQ.com and satisfy your meat tooth.
Oh, one thing I love about doing this show is keeping you up to date on events going on in and around Frederick. Let's do that right now.
Sponsored by Taco Bar in Frederick and Gaithersburg and Taquito in Hagerstown. Taco Bar is in West Point Plaza off Route 40 in Frederick and at 3 Russell Avenue in Gaithersburg. And Taquito is at 812 Frederick Street in Hagerstown. Taquito offers the same great quality food with a drive-through experience. TacoBar1.com or Taquito by TacoBar.com.
Oh, my stomach just growled looking at that. Might have to head over to Taco Bar myself today. All right, we got those giveaways for you. That Mark Patrick seminar where you can use hypnosis to lose weight or stop smoking. All you have to do is text seminar to 888-465-2944 and we'll pick a winner. I think coming up maybe at the end of next week because that's coming March 1st at the Hilton Garden Inn. But you can find out more details at markpatrickseminars.com. We've also got those tickets to see Boomtown tonight. 2 showings at Warehouse Cinemas and again on Sunday. All through February, you can watch Boomtown locally. See Frederick on the big screen. Text movie to 888-465-2944. Your deadline is tomorrow, Saturday, for your Blessings in a Backpack. If you want to enter a team of 8 or 10 to do the Race to Feed event at Hood College, you got to do that. And our countywide egg hunt begins on March 30th. Also, we're going to have details about Frederick American Little League. They have, it's for ages 4 to 12. And we're going to talk a lot more about that. I'm going to start tomorrow with your information. And we're going to have Rick on soon talking about the changes with Little League all over the county. He was my son's T-ball coach back when Cooper was 5, I think, 5 or 6. Rick Wilson is a great advocate for kids. They have Frederick girls softball as well for 8 under, 10 under, and 12 under, learning fundamental skills for both baseball and softball. And we highly recommend you get your kids involved in one of those. Frederick American Little League online and Frederick Girls Softball. You can find out details there. All right, tonight you can dine at Texas Roadhouse. 15% supports the VFW Post 3285 from 3 until 10. Just go on to their Facebook page, VFW Post 3285, and show your server the flyer. And they will get 15% of your bill. Easy way for you to get good food and help a local organization. We love Texas Roadhouse, and it's always a treat. 7:30, Peter Rabbit and the Secret Garden Gate at Maryland Ensemble Theater plays again through March 14th on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. Get your tickets at marylandensemble.org, I think is their website. You can certainly find them on social media as well. Tomorrow, there's a pre-Valentine's Day pop-up at the Brunswick American Legion from 4 until 7. At 6 o'clock, it is Galentine's Day at McClintock Distilling. And finally, tomorrow at midnight is your deadline for the 9 Lives of Love raffle to benefit Focus, which is Friends of our Frederick County Animal Shelter. And then don't forget, Valentine's Day is on Saturday, 9 to noon. Fox Haven Foragers launches their year-round wild food workshops from 10 to 1. It is a collaborative food pantry with Asbury United Methodist Church and Helping Hands and Caring Hearts being held at Asbury United Methodist Church. If you know somebody who needs a little bit of help, some food, please make sure they know that this event is going on from 10 until 1. From 12 to 1:30, it's Valentine's Day. It's a Valentine's Day party at Thurmont Police Department. Go meet all the pets that are the dogs that are there from Wags for Hope. Your children can read to them, you can color, you can just cuddle them. That's what I want to do. That is from 12 to 1:30 on Saturday. And 2 to 5, there is a community pasta dinner at Asbury United Methodist Church. All are welcome to attend. I just want to make sure. Oh, there's this really cool chick chat going on at Southern States. It is February 28th, I think, at 12:15. That is at the Southern States in Woodsboro, where you can learn all about raising chickens. And they're going to have question and answers and demonstrations, tips on what you want to feed them and the coops and the setup. It's going to be very cool. I just got sent this the other day. I thought you guys might want to know about it. If you're in a place that you can have chickens, you might want to check it out. You must RSVP by February 24th. There's a number on the screen. It is the Woodsboro Southern States. And let me see, is there anything else really important that you need to know about? Well, that rescheduled date, don't forget, I saw somebody on social asking about charter schools here in Frederick. You can ask all your questions on February 19th at Sieber Arts Library. We have a great town, great community, and we always have some amazing events. Keep up to date with everything. We have that Everything Frederick calendar you can access. Also, be sure to subscribe to Everything Frederick Live on YouTube. That way you don't miss any of the content, not only from me here at Good Morning Frederick, but many of our creators. We're going to be launching 2 new podcasts next month. A lot of great content for you. And if you want to do your own podcast, reach out. We've got a great opportunity for you to do that as well. All right. Have an amazing day. And let's get out there and let's be great.
Sponsored by Fusion Car Wash. Now with 2 locations in Frederick to serve you. One on Spectrum Drive near the FSK Mall, which is a full-service location. And TJ Drive with self-serve vacuums. Download the free Fusion Car Wash app and sign up for a monthly membership. And you can keep all your cars clean daily. FusionCarWash.com.